if we move into states that are uncomfortable through things that have happened or through our states of being, they feel really, really big. But often you'll even hear this with people who have been working through, different levels of money expansion, that you think that, oh, if I just had this amount of money, I'd feel so good. And then when you actually get there, it's like, it just kind of feels natural. Welcome to Energetics with Kim and Veronica, where we invite you to nourish the energy of your inner why, your inner healing, magic, prosperity, your curiosity, clarity, playfulness. Welcome home. Hello, everyone. This is Veronica with Energetics Podcast. Welcome to our next episode, and I'm joined by my lovely partner, Kim. Hello, Kim.
Hello, Miss Veronica. Hello, everyone, and thank you for being here. Welcome back if you're returning, and all the things.
Yes, welcome, welcome, welcome. We'd love for you to pull up a chair, pull up a cushion, and just sit and enjoy the conversation as though we're all sitting around a table, around a campfire, around a boardroom, and just having a little chat. And so we thought today we'd talk about the difference between light emotions and heavy emotions, and how that plays out for us, and the interesting awarenesses that we've had as we've navigated this over the last few decades. One of the things that Kim and I used to always do when we would facilitate coaching programs is we would always have folks begin with really documenting where they're at. Because after going through a 6 or 8 week, whatever that looks like, journey, the changes can be so big and so profound, but feel so subtle. And it's always fascinating because when you don't document it, you can easily come to the end of a transformation and feel like, not much has really changed. But when you actually when you've actually documented it well and do a reflection back afterwards, it's like, wow, things have really changed. And the reason for that is because the light feeling emotions, the good feeling states of being are in alignment with the truth of your soul. And so it's natural. It just feels natural. And the uncomfortable feelings, the uncomfortable states of being are not in alignment with your soul. There's a disconnect, there's a gap. And so they feel big, they feel heavy. They feel bigger and more profound and more deep than the lighter ones. And they're not in alignment with our soul. And so if we move into states that are uncomfortable through things that have happened or through our states of being, they feel really, really big. But often you'll even hear this with people who have been working through, different levels of money expansion, that you think that, oh, if I just had this amount of money, I'd feel so good. And then when you actually get there, it's like, it just kind of feels natural. It doesn't feel as big or as you'd think that it would. And so we thought we'd explore that a little bit deeper together today.
Yeah, I think it's a good one. And we have no idea where this is going, as usual. That's what makes it fun and interesting and a moment for us as well. Yeah, with that thing, it's kind of like if something feels heavy and dense, it's simply because, is it possible that the energy of it is heavy and dense? And so we don't want to make it mean anything. We don't have to try to figure it out or anything like that. But what if we just went, okay, that's actually really heavy. Oh, okay. Is that actually true for me? Yes, no, yes, no. And some people, they do, okay, if it's heavy, it's not actually true for me. It might be in my face in the moment. However, if it feels heavy, that's not an energy I want to follow. And so what's true for us will always make us feel lighter. Always. And that's not to say that when we're having a day where we're aware, I'm going to use that word, we're aware of heaviness and we're aware of sadness. That doesn't mean that that's a wrongness in the moment. It is key for us to have our feels. Right? It's key for us to have our feels, and we get to go, oh, there's something here. There's something here, and it's not about figuring out, like, I don't tend to even have to label it as, and is it heavy? Yes. Is it sad? Like, you don't even have to do that. It's like, okay, there's something here for me. And, just allowing yourself to be with that without making it right or wrong. And at the same time, recognizing that it's just a moment, right? It's not a lifetime sentence, because that's not actually true for us. It's a feel about an experience that we're having. It's a feel about an experience that we're having. And we get to allow ourselves to have that feel, and recognizing that, guess what? This too shall pass. This too shall pass, right? And for me, I think that those heavier vibes, those type of vibes, they're just heavier. And that's why we feel them so much. Whereas, like, as you said, Veronica, those subtle ones, they're so light that they don't stop us in our tracks, right? The other ones are like the school of 2x4. They stop us in our tracks. And so they get our attention. So what if we took the moment and noticed the things that are light and let those get our attention? Because the other stuff stops us in our tracks. It's like a school of 2x4 because it's so heavy. The other stuff, they can almost go unnoticed, like you said. So what if we did pause? You're awesome at that, Veronica. You are. Like, what if we did actually pause and take time to stop and smell the roses and just really soak in that moment, in those moments of that lightness? Then our cells are soaking in it, but it don't, our cells are soaking in it, all the things, right? But those lighter energies don't tend to stop us in our tracks. They don't feel like a school of 2x4 because they are so light. So this is where our work, part of our work, comes from, is really making the choice. Okay, today I'm going to really notice the things that are light, and just really pause for a moment and let myself be with that thing so that my cells can soak in that. And I'm going to take that pause, because the 2x4 gets the pause. What about the other stuff, right? Let's play there without ignoring the 2x4, of course, right? But also really bringing our awareness onto those things that feel light. Because if we don't bring our awareness to it, chances are nobody else is gonna. Right. And yeah, and so it's a great reminder to really pause and take time to stop and smell the roses. It could be like, oh, it's a sunny day, yeah, I love the sun, and we jump in our car and we go, right? There's no pause in that to just go, oh, like 2 seconds, right? Whatever you have, you can fit that in, right? We can fit it in, we just don't, because we tend to be in such a hurry. But I'll tell you, like I said, those dense energies stop us. So what if we allowed the lighter ones to give us a pause?
Yeah, and it really does become a way of work, and a way of, a work of life, if you will. Like, it's something that I challenge myself often to do, because it's so easy to overlook it.
Yep.
Because like you said, because the dense, heavy stuff really gets your attention. And I was sharing with Kim before the call that I was listening to Bashar last week, and he was saying that the light feeling emotions are tied to thoughts and beliefs that are in resonance with our truth. So they're just naturally there. Whereas the heavy, uncomfortable emotions are not in alignment with our truth. And so they have to fight for themselves. And so they will try to find all kinds of frames of reference or stories or other similar linked beliefs or thoughts to throw into your awareness to fight. It's like they're fighting for their survival. So they've got to fight. So they're all like grasping all these different thoughts and stories and narratives and examples. So if I have a fear, for example, if I have a thought that I'm scared that I won't be successful in business, if I'm going to launch a business and I'm scared it's not going to be successful, well, that fear is not necessarily true. That belief, that thought is not necessarily true. And so it has to fight for itself. Well, look at all these other people that aren't successful. And look at that time you weren't successful before. And it's like, it grabs all these related, it's kind of fighting for its survival, if you will. Whereas the truth of, I can easily have a successful business, is not fighting for itself, because it's naturally in alignment with what's possible and true for me. And so it's an interesting concept when you start to like extract your awareness and really look at your thoughts, look at your emotions, look at your state of being, look at your identity from almost like a bird's eye view of what's actually playing out within you, and where are these like limiting beliefs or limiting thoughts that don't feel good, where are they fighting for their survival. And often, as they're getting closer to moving out of your being, out of your psyche, out of your identity, they get bigger and louder and bigger and louder and bigger and louder. And that's often what Bashar was saying, is that that's what fear actually is these limiting thoughts, these limiting beliefs fighting for themselves, getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And so either you can feed it and continue to align with it, or you can start to create that separation, which is what meditation does, and all these beautiful tools and modalities create that separation to see it as something outside of you that's not in alignment with your identity, and that will allow you to separate yourself and make a choice that's in alignment with where you would like to be, instead of following that fear or that negative thought.
Yeah, and it is that thing of, oh, that feels really heavy. Okay, that's actually not true. It's just something I'm believing to be true. And then of course we make it true. Right. And so yeah, definitely noticing it feels heavy. Okay, that's not light. That's not in alignment with what's actually true for me. Okay. And then for me, that's when I like to laugh at myself, because otherwise it's easy to beat myself up for it. Laugh at myself and go, oh my God, as you've heard me say many times, I'm doing that thing again, right? It's just a noise. It's just a noise in my head. And that noise, oh my God, it can take on a life of its own. So I tend to say, like, it's kind of like, yeah, as that stuff is also, as we bring in more light, meaning as we start to function more from what is actually true for us, the stuff that isn't is going to get loud, right? Because it's like you're bringing light into a dark room. Well, now you can see what's in that room. You couldn't see what was in that room when it was dark, but you bring the light in, now you can see it. Well, that stuff gets loud. And I like to say it's almost like it puts on its army boots. Right? It's got its army boots on now. And I don't make it wrong. And I don't try to make it go away. I just see it for what it is and come back into my own awareness of, okay, feels really heavy. Okay, that's not actually true for me. It's just noise. It's just that noise. And but boy, oh boy, when you try to figure it out or try to make it go away or resist it or anything like that, that does not work. For me, it doesn't work, right? And I love how in the beginning, Veronica, you brought in the thing of kind of tracking our progress, right? And not from the place of I'm not where I want to be, because that's an easy rabbit hole as well. We've talked about that. More along the lines of, wow, look how far I've come. Right? Look how far I've come. And it kind of reminds me of like you said, I think you said something about, you were referring to how the changes can be so subtle that you don't even notice them. However, when we do take time to stop and smell the roses, when we do pause, when we do our own acknowledgement, wow, then then a part of us goes, oh, it is working. Oh, I am getting it. Oh, there is change happening here. It's kind of like, you have a baby, then all of a sudden the baby's getting married. It's like, where did that time go? It's like that. It happens so quickly, right? And so, yeah, it's like, when you're doing a new product, take a picture, notice what you'll look like the day you start the product, whatever it is, and then take a picture a month later and just see. So the tracking of our own progress is also a celebrating. It's a celebration to go, oh my God, look how far I've come. And it's really easy, like you said, to overlook it. And so what might be an idea of how we could track how far we've come? It could be like, okay, on a scale of 1 to 10, How happy am I? How often am I happy? How much joy do I have? That kind of stuff. What would you say to that, Veronica? What would be some thoughts that you might have on that? How would you track your progress on how far you've come? Not where you want to go, but how far you've come. Like when I
Yeah, I
look at
mean,
how
there's.
it's easy for me to look at how far you've come, and it's probably easy for you to look at how far I've come, but for me to do it myself is interesting.
Yeah, I mean, there's a couple of questions. Like I mean, I guess this is maybe more of where you're going, but the wheel of life, right? If you've ever done the wheel of life where you have the wheel and there's like, it's like a piece of pie that's like a section of your life and you rate it. Where are you today out of 10, right? And look at each of those sections and then check in every now and then, if it's every couple of months, and look at how that has moved. But that would be to start the tracking now. But, a couple of questions you could ask yourself is there anything that you're living today that was once a dream?
Hmm.
That was once something that you were aiming to have or aiming to experience? Can you think of examples of things that maybe manifested quickly for you that you didn't expect them to happen?
Right.
Are there, one of the things that one of our mentors says all the time is like, if somebody were to look at a vision board, if they were to look at a canvas of your life, of all the pictures of your life right now, that would be a vision board for some people. And we don't think of it that way because we always look at the gap. We always look at, okay, I've arrived here, but I want the next thing. Right. And there's
Yeah.
nothing wrong with that desire. That desire is what fuels us. But it's also important to really look at, like, what does our life look like now? And if I were to rewind 10 years, what are the things that I'm experiencing now? Who am I now that I wasn't 10 years ago, that I wished 10 years ago I could be, I could do, I could have? And can you really anchor in that in as a point of
Hmm.
celebration? When I
Right.
look at, I've played a lot in the energy of money. And so, and I really, because it's something that I wanted to master, if you will. And when I look at where I'm at financially right now, it's
Mm.
something that I would have, like 10 years ago, I would have been like, oh my gosh, like if I could be earning that much, that's all I'd ever want. Right. And yet I noticed, like, my most recent, I had a recent promotion that came with an increase, and it's like, okay, good. Okay, got it. Now what? Now what's next? Right. Like it was very easy for me to move on to what else is next. And even though I'm in this work, and even though I challenge myself to do it, I still notice myself bypassing it so quickly, the good things that come in. And so, or my mind saying, yeah, but, yeah, it's good, but I'd rather be doing this. I'd rather have this or that. Whereas, if I were to get a big tax bill right now, I'd spend a lot of time and energy thinking about that. Right. And so,
Yeah.
and so, when it comes to, something like money, and I'm sure everyone can take something in their lives, whether it's a relationship or, health or whatnot, is like, where is it that I'm easily overlooking the good things? And
Mm.
it's not that you stop the desires or that you limit the desires. You want your desires to be as big as they possibly can. Like, that's the whole point of
And
life.
even bigger.
Exactly. But at the same time, we won't necessarily arrive or actualize or, achieve those things if we don't learn the art of really leaning into the celebration. Or really, I feel like there's an energetic portal that opens up in every moment that we have like this, that is good feeling, that is a good thing. And when we bypass it, we lose that opportunity for the magic that we can invite into our lives, that can then expand into the greater things that we desire.
Mm. And there's such a difference between the verbal diarrhea of appreciation, and those gratitude, the thing. It's like you gotta get like to actualize the energy of, you gotta get the feel of it. Now you're the vibrational match of it. So the words are great. However, when we take the words and really, oh, that felt so good. Oh wow, look at how far I got. Oh wow, I actually got a raise. Wow. A year ago, that even just that raise would have been huge. And, like you said, it's so easy to, what would the word be? Almost, it's so easy to not overlook it, because I know you would have appreciated it, but not take it for granted, but all that kind of sort of. And so when we can actually look at how far we've come in just a year, in a week, in a whatever, look at how fast a baby grows, right? Might not feel like it when it's crying every night through the middle of the night, but yeah, all of a sudden you look back and you go, wow, right? And yeah, I think that is such a big key. We'll talk about that more, about the feel of the gratitude as opposed to just the verbal diarrhea. We can use the verbal diarrhea to activate the feel, right? But otherwise, if it's just verbal diarrhea, that's not going to activate the portal, as you speak of, the Stargate.
Exactly. Yeah. So really looking at like what feels light, what feels good, and where is that natural because it's in alignment with the truth of who you are, and what feels heavy, and where the heaviness, where's the density getting more of your attention? And can you just begin to look at, can I shift my attention over to the lightness a little bit more? Can I shift my attention over to the good things a little bit more? And maybe consider looking at the heaviness as this thing that's fighting for itself. It's fighting for its survival within you because it's not part of you. It's not true for you.
It's got its army boots on.
It's bringing in all of its troops to try to fight for its survival. And can you lovingly, we're not pushing it away, we're not fighting it, we're not making it wrong, but can we just lovingly notice that and consider having that awareness instead of that alignment with it?
That.
Amazing. Awesome. Thank you so much, everyone. We really appreciate if you think this conversation benefits anyone you know, to share, to like, subscribe, comment, reach out to us. We would love to hear from you.
Absolutely. Much love. Ta-ta. Bye.